Hey everyone, it's Unity Made Simple here, and this is episode number 2 of the Jetpack Joyride tutorial series. In this episode, we're going to create a background right here, and we're going to add some obstacles. So I've created the background in Photoshop, and just make sure, you can use any background, just make sure it's mirrored horizontally and it looks good when you just repeat it. So let's just get started right away. We're going to right click our hierarchy, click create empty, and we'll call this object background, and we're going to right click background and click create empty. Actually, before you do that, go to background, right click this transform and click reset so it moves it right to the middle. Now in this game object, I don't know why I created a game object. Don't create a game object, delete that. Right click background, click UI or second object or 2D object and click sprite, and right here in the sprite tab just drag in your background sprite and boom. So this is not nice. So now what we can do is we'll go to our main camera, and I'm going to increase the perspective to like 5.2. Is that good? No. 5.5. No, 5.4. 5.4 is perfect. So right here we have our background, and our character is not appearing, so just increase your background Z value to just anything above 0, honestly. And there you go. Now if you look in 3D, what this means is that, so our camera is here, right? This is our camera, and it's viewing this entire region, so like on and on. And if you look right here, I'll actually increase the Z of your background. And you can see, so first the camera is going to render in our person, and then the background is going to be behind him. Let's go back to 2D view so we don't get cancer. And so now you see this new sprite. Now you're going to want to right click it. Actually no, don't right click it. So yeah, right click it and then click duplicate. And the second one that you made, just drag it under new sprite. Right there. And now this second sprite, you're just going to want to change its X value, just move it over a little until it snaps. Hold control if it's not snapping. And if control doesn't work, then my control's not working. So just zoom in. Just make sure that they're lined up perfectly, or as close to perfect as you can get. You can't tell the difference here. I think this is about right. And for one of them, you can increase the Z value just a little. Or the second one, increase the Z value so then it doesn't look like they're trying to compete. And now we're going to go to our background. We're going to click add component, and we're going to call it background mover. Why doesn't what if I want to make a new script? Our new script will be called background mover. And we're going to open it in Visual Studio. It should load sometime this year. Oh wait, go to Unity, drag your background script into scripts. Gotta say someone organized, you know. And let's go back to assets. Okay. I don't want to back up and collaborate. Thank you very much. So we have our character open. Now let's open up our background mover. So we don't want to do anything here. You can delete this, and we'll replace it with public transform t, and then we'll do tree.translate negative speed times time.delta time 0. What's wrong with that? Oh, we didn't create a speed variable. Public float speed. Do we have a speed variable in our character? No, that's up speed. Okay. And what's wrong with this? We don't have a Z value? 0. Alright. Now what we're going to do, now we just make sure that the background loops properly. So we'll do if t.transform.position.x is less than negative. Let's see. At what point will this edge, see, this has a x value of 19.2, right? 19.2. Oh, because it's 1920. You know how this works? Our so this is a 1920 by 1080 picture right here, right? I don't know where to see the resolution, but it says that somewhere. This is 1920 by 1080, and there's every unit right here you see in the grid, every unit of X or Y, it's 100 pixels. So 19.2 makes sense. So once our X value is negative 19.2, then we're gonna say, actually instead of doing that, we're gonna set it to new vector 3, 0, 0, and let's just do 10, 10f. And f converts into float, by the way. So now let's go back in. We'll set our background z to like, set that to about 10. Actually no, don't do that. Set your keep your background z 0. And then right under new sprite, set your z to 10. And under new sprite 1, just set it to something very small. And make sure that these two colliders are directly above and below the player. And let's see if this works. There you go. Works perfectly fine. No, it does not. It was working earlier, and now it does not work. Wow. So let's look at it in 2D. And let's stop right here, and we can view it frame by frame. So why is it not moving? I'm very confused. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Oh, because our backgrounds, no. Okay. You know why? Because we changed our camera's perspective in order to fit this. So what we actually need to do, see, look, this sprite right here. Where is it? This sprite. Wait a second. Oh, you see these two are overlapping. No, they're not. Okay, so just move these two a little. Like, set the parents transform to negative 1.65. Okay, and in our script, we're gonna do new vector 3 negative 1.65f, and we'll play this, and it should work. I don't see any reason why not. Okay, I figured out our problem. This should be the aspect ratio. So what we're doing is not good. So set its z back to 0. I accidentally messed up with my game view. Yep, this is perfectly fine. So we're like, actually we wanted 10. Oh my god. Actually don't do vector 2.0. We just wanted a plain 10. And make sure that so under background, right? Make sure that your new sprite, okay, let's title this parent wall. Make sure that your parent's wall z is 10, and make sure that your new sprite 1 or child wall has a z that's just slightly different. Don't do too much. Just make it like 0.01 or negative 0.01, and let's try it out. See, it should work perfectly fine. See if I can spot the teleport. Let's see. It's gonna teleport any second now. Alright, I can't spot the teleport, which is actually pretty impressive. See, it's moving perfectly. Second that reaches that point, it just goes right back. That's a beautiful background. And our particles are working perfectly fine. They fade off. Now, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the player just a little bit. So in order to do that, we're going to character.cs. And we're going to do transform dot local Euler angles equals new vector 3 0 0 20. I think 20 is a good number. Actually, no, let's not rotate him that much. Let's rotate him 15. And we'll just copy this, Control C, and we'll paste this, Control V, and we'll set this to 0. And now let's try it. So now when we press space, our character is going to just tilt forward just a little. He's tilting backwards. That's very nice. Because it's negative 15. Right, so that works. We don't need to test that. Let's save our scene, Control S. Alright, that's good. And now let's do obstacles. So, okay, get this background out of here. So just, okay, now just drag your obstacle right here. And now just drag it in, doesn't matter where, just drag it in. And we're gonna click. Is this too big of an obstacle? Let's test it out. Yeah, that's a little too big. How about 0.8 by 0.8? Right, that looks a little better. No, it does not. About 0.6 by 0.6. And what's the maximum we can get? No, we're gonna have to do like 0.65 and 0.65. And there you go. Okay. So now the way we're gonna do this is, so we can just control the Y position of this, right? As we control the Y position, it will spawn at a different place, and the player will have to avoid it. First thing we have to do is we're going to add a collider to this. So click Add Component, and we're going to want not a line collider, a polygon collider, 2D, and let's watch it generate. Or it already generated. Okay, there you go, generated. Does it cover all the triangles? Yes, it does. Alright, so that's perfect. Now, we don't need to worry about that. So now we can get started with the obstacle script. So just me, obstacle, new script, create an ad, and let's let Unity do its thing. Drag it into scripts, stay organized, and let's open up obstacle. And okay, so literally all it's gonna do is it's gonna just be like, it's gonna have a public float speed, and it's just gonna do transform.translate negative speed times time.delta time 0 0, and that's it. That's literally all we need for speed. So let's go into obstacle. And there you go, that's perfect. And let's just leave it at 0. So let's see if it worked here. Let's set its speed to 5. And it's gonna move along with the background. Let's see. Perfect. I missed it. Okay, let's try to hit it this time. See if it. Look at that. It took me away. Look at that. I'm gone. Can we have a rip in the chat for our local character? Alright. So, now, we're not going to add death yet. So we have this obstacle ready. So let's go back to assets. And let's create a new folder. And that will be called prefabs. Prefabs means prefabricated objects. That took me a long time to figure out. So where you see your obstacle maybe object, you're just going to drag it in. Bam. And we can delete it from our scene now. So now, under our background, can we focus on our background? So now under our background, actually let's not do it under our background, let's do it separately. We'll do create empty, and we'll call this obstacle spawner, and reset the transform, and we'll create empty, we'll do op spawner, and click W now so you can move it, and set its x position to 9.2, not 9.2, 9.6, and set its y position to 5.2, 3.4, 5.4, 9.6 by 5.4. Okay, and now that's gonna spawn perfectly right there. Actually, no, set its y position to 2.7. So that's gonna be right in between the very top and the very middle. And now we're going to create a new component, and we're going to call it obstacle spawner. New script, create and add, should add sometime soon. Drag it into scripts, and we'll open it up. Visual Studio, here we are. Okay. Now let's see this. Let's generate a nice algorithm. So we'll have a public void. No, not a void. We'll have a public int. No, this will be private. Private int frames till last spawn equals 0. Then we'll have a public spawn speed and equals 30 by default. Oh, it'll be an int. Actually, no, it'll be a float because you never know. And so now we'll have an int, we'll call it temp, and we'll do it's random, right? Random dot range, not random dot random age, just random dot range. They're the exact same thing, but you know, different names make it. Just don't worry about it. And we'll have a 0 and spawn speed. And we'll say if spawn speed, no, sorry, if temp is greater than we'll have a public float spawn chance actually, okay, let's remove our spawn speed. Actually, no, we'll keep spawn speed and we'll set this to 0 and 100. And if temp is greater than, no, if temp is less than or equal to spawn chance, right? So if our spawn chance is 100, of course it's gonna be less than or equal to. But if our spawn chance is like 3, it has a very small chance of being underneath spawn chance. And then if it's underneath that, we're gonna spawn. So we're gonna have a public game object, and we'll call this obst prefab. We're gonna do instantiate obst prefab, and its transform parent will be this, and I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, so we'll do new vector 3, and we'll have it as a 0 random dot range, and this range will be -2, -1 and 2.7, I believe. 0. Okay, I am so dumb it's not even funny. Alright, so we'll move this, and now we'll do new. Wait, no, this is right. I was doing it perfectly fine. 0, 2.7f, and then close parentheses 0. Unity engine. Oh, we don't have a close parentheses, huh? And we'll just do quaternion.0 identity, and boom. So this will instantiate our obstacle prefab at a random range, at a random y, so then only some part of it sticks out. And if it is, then we'll set the frames to last spawn to spawn speed. Okay, apparently you need to declare it as an int. And also in this if statement, we're gonna make sure that frames to last spawn is greater than or equal to spawn speed and frames to last spawn plus. No, we'll do minus minus, and we need to make sure it's less than or equal to 0. So it's not frames till last spawn, it's frames left till spawn. Frames left till spawn. You don't have to rename it, I'm just renaming it so it's more convenient. Control C, Control V, and okay. So now if you're confused, let's clear it up in the inspector in Unity. So let's go to our up spawner. Its spawn chance is going to be 50%, and its spawn speed is going to be every Okay, frames left till spawn should actually be seconds. So we'll do seconds, and then we'll do seconds left till spawn minus equals time dot delta time. So this to float. Alright guys, here is our finished script. You can just go into Dropbox, download this. I'm so sorry that it's so messy. I went back and changed so many different things, and I don't like this comment. But this will be it. And I believe this should work. So, let's set our obstacle prefab. So go to prefabs, drag your obstacle thing right there. And let's see if this works. Yeah, spawn speed is way too high. So let's set this to maybe 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds it has the possibility of spawning something. Okay. So now what the problem is, we need to set the up spawner's Y to 5.4. So it's at the very top. And let's try it now. And okay. Negative. Okay. Let's set this to transform. And let's see if this works. It may or may not work. I'm actually not sure yet. No, it's not going to work. Okay. We'll set this random.random range to negative 2.7. No, negative. Let's do negative 7f and 2.7f. No, not negative, not 7. Negative 7. And this will also be negative 2.7. I think this should work. No, I did it wrong, guys. This will be 7. And this will be 2.7. Alright. Now let's try it. There you go. We have different obstacles randomly spawning. And we're actually going to fix the X to spawn at 9.2. And we're going to go back to our obstacle script and we're going to say if transform.position.x less than -20f, then we'll be like destroy. So this is going to destroy itself, so then we don't have like 5 million. What's our error? What happened here? Alright. I just have to add a quick F. Come on, fix all your mistakes, Unity. So let's check out our scene and see how it's spawning. Spawning perfectly fine. And if it goes too far, it just deletes it. And let's look in game. And their colliders are working perfectly. Wow. And we have some extreme ones here. And so now we're going to just duplicate this up spawner. I'm going to set its position right here to -5.7. 5.4, sorry. And we're actually going to do, instead of this random.range with numbers, we're going to do transform.position.y plus 2.7 f, and we'll copy this and paste it, and I will do -2.7 f. It should actually be -2 and alright, this I believe is our final script there. Alright, check it out. Ooh. Wow, this is nice. Kind of. Could be better. Could be worse as well, so careful with your hitbox there, boy. And wow, we have a working spike system. Alright. Spawning perfectly fine. And so right now it's spawning like every time. So how about let's make both of them spawn with a 1% chance. So it might take them longer. See, this one spawned a little later than that one. Whoa, that was really late. And wow, we have our full-fledged system here. Can you have a rip in the chat for our player? He is back. He's back. I think his script sets his. Alright. So what's wrong here? Nothing really, as far as I can see. It looks nice. Only thing, I have an idea. So we'll go to background mover, and we'll do speed plus equals difficulty times time delta time 0.01, and we'll have a public difficulty Alright, so now what it's going to do is it's going to slowly increase our speed as we go on. And what we can do is, actually no, How about we just say time dot time scale plus equals time dot delta time difficulty times 0.01. So it's gonna very slowly increase our time scale, and you guys will probably notice this. Let's see. No, you won't, because the difficulty is 0. So we'll go to our background, parent wall, not parent wall, background, and let's set the difficulty to 3. And let's watch it work. So as you can see, thing is slowly speeding up. Oh, we already died. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it is speeding up. It's kind of hard to notice. No, it's really speeding up. And I think what we're going to do is, instead of instantiating it at 9.2, we'll do like 15. Alright. And that should make our gaming experience better. We almost have Jetpack Joyride complete here. So let's practice. Now I gotta practice my Jetpack Joyride skills. Got all these spikes underneath the ground, but that's fine. As you can tell, gravity's pulling on us much harder and we can't even take off anymore, which is really sad. So let's fix that here. And let's set this time increase to like something like 0.02. And when we apply force, she will have a reference to the public background mover. Actually, we don't need it. We can just, we'll do up speed times, in parentheses, time dot time scale minus 1. So this is gonna increase our force just a little. In this way, we're gonna slowly speed up, and it won't be easy to notice. Okay, wait. Just do time dot time scale. You don't need the -1 in here. And there you go. So now, as we move along, it's slowly speeding up. You guys probably can't tell, but if you keep watching, it's gonna slowly speed up. And I'm not speeding up the video or anything, as you can tell. So my voice is completely normal, and objects are moving along. And let's actually check our stats. We're running solid 180 FPS. 90, alright. And let's make sure we don't die here. And already it's like somewhat decent of a game. We got our background moving, we got our obstacles. I'm gonna add coin generation after. And one thing that I don't like is when you rotate back, the particles also rotate. So I might change that. So you can tell it's slowly getting faster. Difficulty's increasing. No, and we're dead. Oh no, we're back. But our gravity's still working perfectly fine. Not perfectly fine, but it's working. And if you guys are noticing that I'm getting teleported, don't worry, because we are gonna add death next episode along with coins, I believe. And already we have a pretty decent game. Decent. I'm just saying decent. It's not good. It's not bad though. And we're moving along. So like if you guys wanted to add like windows, like some water, any other background, that'd also be fine. Oh, and I'm dead. Oh, I'm back. Alright. Let's continue our journey. onward. We brave on. And continue. As you can notice, we're definitely getting much faster. But our jumping's working now. And what's our difficulty at? I really want to... Yeah, our difficulty's at 3. So now if we set it to something like 10, then you can tell. You can see it speed up. I don't know if you guys can see it speed up, but I can... Oh my god. Our guy's on drugs. This is Jetpack Joyride Extreme. But yeah. You can see this is very... It's actually pretty fun. Until you bump into something and then you're just like... Why? Oh, our guy's dead. Alright. So that's gonna be it for this video. We need a working Jetpack Joyride. Let's set the difficulty to 1 next time we play. So you can't really notice the time change, but it is slowly speeding up. And that is gonna wrap it up for this video. Next video we'll add our spawners, and not our spawners, our coins. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.